Hello and welcome back. I'm in the shop here at home, and it's time to finally do the carb rebuild on this again. Stihl MS261. It's obviously a great little chainsaw, but it's been giving me a lot of trouble. So I finally picked up the kit that I need for the rebuild of the carb, which I did pull apart the carb earlier when it was bogging down and stalling out, and there was quite a bit of gunk inside there. I got all that kind of cleaned out, but I didn't have the carb kit, so I just had to put the old gaskets and stuff back on, and I think that worked, but it didn't. It's not operating correctly, so it's idling really high. So I think the gas is just flowing through the system too easily now, and the gaskets aren't like working properly. So hopefully swap the gaskets out and rebuild that thing. Then hopefully it'll be up and running, and it'll idle correctly and rev correctly and not bog down on me. So let's get to it. So let's start with making sure I have all the parts here in this kit. Just cut this bag so I don't wreck anything. Give me a second here. All right. Okay. So this little screen actually. I didn't have one when I pulled apart the carb. The spot where that was actually gummed up pretty good, but there was no screen in it, which I thought was a bit strange. So I got my spring and the gasket or the needle. There's the one. Gasket. Okay. Okay, get the chain cover off. I'll just pull this off. Set that aside. Okay. Crack these. It's the MS261 is the professional saw. And it has these little snaps. So I just stay in quarter turn and get them off. Pretty straightforward. I'm gonna crack the gas here, just to remove the pressure, in case I forget later. I'll twist, pull this off. Okay, now, first thing I'm gonna do is disconnect the choke, I believe. It's inside there. So there's a little wire in here. Just gotta pop that up. There we go. So it's not connected anymore. There's a little rubber mounts on the side here for this thing, so I can pop those two things off. Okay, that's loose. Now this is the tricky part. I took I think it was an 8mm, and I actually had to sand this down with my my belt sander because the holes for these nuts here are very, very tight to get on. So with a real thin socket, you can kind of get at them. There we go, got that one. Okay. And that one. You might be able to buy a tool for that. I'm not 100% sure. I've never really looked. But I hear a lot of people kind of complaining about this as well, because you really can't get out these things with just a regular size socket. There we go. So those two things there. I gotta disconnect this still. So that can just sort of pop out of here, just kind of sits inside. And then there's a little little clip here. You can sort of push down on that clip. And that should be loose. Disconnect. Okay. This part should come free now, I think. Oh, I gotta pop this here out. Come on. Don't make a liar out of me. Okay, there we go. Let's put that down there. Just sort of get this off to the side. I don't need to just take it right out. And my carb should come right out now, I think. Oh, there's the gas that I thought I removed the pressure on. It's leaking everywhere. I should have just emptied it right out. Do that now. Might be too late. It's all right. Let's pretend we're cleaning it, I guess, eh? Okay. Put that cap back on now. Okay, set this aside as well. Get my fuel clean. Okay. So, first thing I'm going to do is remove the fuel module here. Let's see what we need for that. I think that's just a This here. So I think this one here, this part, I think this is just a port that you can plug a computer into that's also connected into the rest of the system. And then there's the clip here for the fuel module itself. It's actually, well, let's take it right out. Okay, so we got the clip and that, we got this. And now the fuel module itself should just pop out. There we go. Set that over there. You're supposed to be careful not to touch the inside of that as well, where that's going. Okay. Now, let's see. Let's start with the top side of this. Or I guess this is the bottom, I should say. These 4 screws out. Okay, it should be pretty clean already, but this is the diaphragm that ends up being the internal pump of this thing, which I think was one of my problems. This one you could see is pretty worn and used. So I just got to get this one off of here. It's kind of fused on. Grab an X-Acto blade here. Go. So yeah, so this has got the diaphragm and then my gasket, which I guess is sort of stuck to it on the inside there. Okay, and then there's all the inner components of this one. Should probably clean this up a little bit too. We might as well swap out these parts too, so if I can, not sure if I have a small enough one. Okay, I think this is the right one, a T8. Yeah, there we go, that's better. So this is the spot with the springs and such. So we got our post, our spring, our lever. Here's the spring. It should be all those parts. And then the pin itself. There we go. It's there. Okay, that's for that. On this side, it's just this one. So this again too is pretty kind of like stiff and worn compared to the other one, and somewhat warped too. This is the guy that controls a lot of the gas flow. So I think that was my main problem on this side. Okay, so that should now be all my parts. If I do a quick comparison here. So put this up to the side. Got these, my back screw, my 4 front screws. These I still need, my clip. I've got my one with the gasket still attached to it here. It's kind of fused to it, so I'll just leave that together. Okay, so I've got this one. And these two. Got my spring, my post, my needle. Looks like it doesn't come with the screw, so I'll have to reuse that. My lever, post. So this I'm also missing. Where's that? And this is where the screen goes. That don't. Oh, there was a screen there. Look at that. I didn't think that was a screen last time I was cleaning it out. I thought it was just gummed up, but there's a screen there. So okay, so that's good. Now where's that other little piece from? Or go? And my eyes are not great anymore. But that looks the same. Okay, so not 100% sure where this goes. Interesting. Okay, well, I guess if it wasn't in there, I don't need to take it out, or it's still in there and I don't need to replace it because it's in there. But the first thing I'm going to do now is just give this a good spray. I'm just going to use brake cleaner. You can use any kind of parts cleaner, I think would be fine. But that's what I have, so that's what I'm going to use. So let me grab that. Okay. Okay, now we reassemble. So let's get this side on first. Okay, the new spring, or new screen. I gotta get in this hole here. Looks good. I just want to push it down a bit. What should I use for that? This guy. Just very lightly. I don't want to wreck it. Okay. Looks good. Okay, now let's get this on first. Holes should line up to the holes on the side. Same with the gasket. For the top. And then same this piece. Now there is little nubs too on the corners, so those should line up in those holes. So if you got everything on there properly, it should all just get locked in. And then we'll throw the screw on. This guy. Okay. It's the easy side. Now for this side, I got this rod that goes inside this thing, which is not easy when you can't see. Okay. Then you can see on this it's got, it's got a little fork there. So that fork hooks on to the underneath of this part of the ball or the pin. So when it pivots, it can pull up and down on it. And then the spring goes down in this hole here. My fingers are too freaking big to do this properly. Okay, so spring down there. And there's a little cup on this too that you kind of catch the spring with. You drop that down the hole. And oop, don't do that. Maybe I'll try to get this on here first and then get it started. Is that gonna work? Okay, looks like I got it. First try, that's good. Okay, there we go. And then we got this guy. This guy. Now, the only part I'm not sure about here is what side. It looks like they had this gasket on the inside. That doesn't seem right. It seems like that part should go on the inside. And then we got this guy here, which should go. Okay. Just it's nice and snug, and that should do it. So I have no idea what this little thing is. So if anyone out there knows what I missed, then please let me know. But I don't see one of all the pieces that I took out, so I don't know if I just missed it and it's still in there, or if it never had one and I don't know where this goes. So help me out if you know where it is. Okay, so now let's get back to putting this part back on. So we got, let's get this fuel module in first. Just kind of snaps in. Not really snaps, but just kind of pushes in. And then we got our, our little somewhat clampy thing. Just to keep it sort of in there so it doesn't pop out. It's like a bit of a spring. Come on. Why are you being difficult? So there's a little piece at the end that has to kind of fall into place there. Maybe if I hold it there. What was this one? This guy? And then use this to kind of get it in. Oh, Okay. Should be good. And this guy. There like that. This might be more than just the port. Actually, looks like this also controls, based on the fuel module as well. It controls some of the air intake, the piece there. But anyway, I'm no expert on this stuff, but looks like that's what it does. Okay, so we're back together now. Let's move some of this stuff aside. My old screen, my old parts, lead. Get rid of this now. And we'll bring the chainsaw back into view here. Okay, so the only thing we got to do is down inside here, you can see that's the fuel line that squirted out when I opened this thing. So that needs to line up with this piece here as we're putting it on, but it should all just line up. So you just got to get these holes lined up. So this goes on like that and that. I said this goes on like that and that. And then yeah, I can peek down here and see, you know, what's happening as I push it in. But that gas line should just pop into place. Looks good. Okay. Now I can get this thing back in and around on there, on there and there. Get this little wire out of the way first. There and there. Okay, that's good. I'll get this here plugged in first so I can get that locked back into there. Make it easier to push this in. Get this lined up. Okay. That's good. And now those bolts, this sort of diffuser thing gets attached onto there, which feels like overkill. Put that on there first. The only tricky part about this, I think, is why I got my needle-nose pliers here. I probably could sand this down a bit more, but I was kind of nervous about losing too much off the ends. Kind of fell out on me there. Pliers again. Come on. Let's try this again. That on there like that. Okay, tip this up a bit. See if I can get gravity to help me. tell if this is working or not. Okay, there we go. It was just not quite there yet. Okay, that side's tight. Oh. That side's real tight. Come on. This is such a horrible design. Come on, Stihl. Do a better job. Making things difficult for people. Okay. That side's tight. Got it out. Okay, pain in the arse. Okay, now this piece, we're almost there. Throttle reconnected. I think this goes through that part there. And then it just kind of snaps. Pretty sure that's the way it goes. That part in there. And this. Okay, maybe I need to get this here lined up properly first. Not down all the way. Let's look at this rubber piece on here. On that side. Easy peasy. On this side, same thing. Come on. There you go. Okay. Also the vibrations. Okay, this goes in there now, and that should just snap down into there. Also get this side this side already snapped back in. Okay, that's good. Something's wrong with this. This is not working. I mean, it's not down in its spot yet either. Did I take that out of the wrong spot? Okay, don't drop things. This should be what am I doing wrong here? Is it this side? It's supposed to be in there. Did I have that one just backwards? And then this side goes down there. Okay, that's better. Okay. That's all the mechanisms working again correctly. Got all those attached. My air filter back on. Locked. They never touched any of that. That should be all good. Back on. Should just be a quarter turn, snap. Okay. That should be it. Need some gas, so let's if everything went back together, then that should be it. So let's add a little bit of gas, and we'll fire it up before we put the chain back on. Just make sure that it's running and idling and seems okay, and then we'll put the chain on. Okay, it well fired up, so that's good, but it did seem to be idling very fast still. Maybe hard to tell with the chain on. So I'm going to put the chain on, and I'm going to take it through the M-Tronic reset and see if that helps. So let's do that first. So now the reset is you let it idle for, I think it was 90 seconds. 30 seconds or 90 seconds? I think it's 30 seconds, over 30 seconds, or in between 30 and 90 seconds. So you let it idle with the choke on for that long, and then you hold the throttle down, and it'll go through a bit of a cycle, and when you hear it rev up real high for a few seconds and then drop back down, that's when it's over. So you basically just have to hold on to the trigger until it does that, and then you can put it down and shut it off, and it should be good. So I'll get my my watch ready here, my clock, and we'll get a timer going. Alright, can't see the timer, but you're gonna have to trust me. I'm gonna put it on this anti-gravity off. I'm gonna start the timer, and then after about 40 seconds I'll lift it up and hold the throttle down. Okay, so I don't know, that doesn't seem any better. I'm gonna fire it up again and let it idle for a bit, but it feels like it's just not idling down low for some reason. It's just getting too much gas or something. But all the parts there seem like they're good now. So I don't know. If you have any ideas, let me know. But I'm gonna just let it idle for a bit and see if that helps. A little unsure what to do next year. At least it's working. It's a bonus, but yeah, I don't know why it's idling so high. Guard or something like that was not in the right spot, but much better. Okay, well, I don't know if you, I guess if you're watching still, I'm going to leave this video unsped up. Had a comment on one of the other videos. Not expecting people to really learn anything from what I'm doing. I'm no expert, but if it does help somebody just sort of see what it looks like tearing it apart or whatever, then I might as well do that. So since I have a bunch of other videos up already, I'll leave this one in kind of real time, so you can actually see what I'm doing and maybe it'll help. But if you can help me, if you're still watching, not sure what's going on there. So it did seem to find its idle after I put the chain brake on and let it sit for a while. Then it did settle down and find a proper idle, and then I could take the chain brake off and it wouldn't spin. Everything was good, but if I revved it up or did it too much again, then it seemed to fall back into the getting stuck at a higher idle, and I had to throw the chain brake back on. So maybe not that big of a deal. I just make sure I use the chain brake. I've not been good about using it, so that's probably on me. But so far it's been pretty good to me even without that. Just go when it idles, it just sort of sits there. So I'll just have to be better at using the chain brake for now and see if it kind of settles down. The only other thing that I thought it might be is the, and I did buy, is the clutch springs. So I bought 3 new clutch springs, which I could swap out. It's not that hard to swap those out, because I thought maybe the idle wasn't the problem, and it was really just the clutch springs were too loose. But they seem okay, so I don't think that was it. And you could really tell on this last little trial here that the idle is high, and then it does settle down to a proper idle, after a little bit. So maybe the M-Tronic system there, the computer needs to get work itself out over time, and maybe it'll start working again properly. But anyway, for now I'm gonna call it working, and let that cool down before I put it away and clean up all my mess here. But I'm going to leave you guys there. So thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the next one. Bye for now.